Shut up and sit down.
Christmas Essay. Essay on Christmas for Students and Children. Introduction on Essay on Christmas. Christmas is a festival celebrated around the world by Christians and even non-Christians. The festival commemorates the birth of Jesus Christ, who would go on to establish Christianity. It is also one of the biggest annual festivals in the world, with billions of people taking part in its celebrations. Time is also spent with family and friends, exchanging gifts and having a blast. When was Jesus Christ born? Today, we celebrate Christmas on the 25th of December every year. However, nobody knows the exact date when Jesus was born. No historical evidence exists, nor was it explicitly mentioned in the Bible. So, how did people come about celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ on the 25th of December? Christmas date and its origin. Many believe that the birth of Christ did not happen in year 1 but somewhere 2 BC and 7 BC. The first ever recorded evidence of Christmas celebration can be traced to 336 AD during the reign of the Roman Emperor Constantine. Constantine was the very first Roman emperor to adopt Christianity and hence celebrated the birth of Christ on December 25th. However, more theories explain why we celebrate Christmas on 25th. An ancient Christian tradition marked March 25th as the day when Mary was told that she would give birth to a very special baby. This event was called the Annunciation in Christian literature. 9 months after March 25th was December 25th, which is when Jesus would have been born. How old Christmas is celebrated? Today, the world follows the Gregorian calendar, which was introduced by Pope Gregory XIII in 1582. Before this, the Roman calendar was used. However, the Roman calendar had more days in a year than the Gregorian calendar. Hence, when the world switched to the Gregorian calendar, almost 10 days were lost. Hence, the day that followed October 4th, 1582 was October 15th, 1582. Similarly, when the UK adopted the Gregorian calendar in 1752, the day that followed September 2nd, 1752, the day which followed was September 14th, 1752. Some Orthodox churches still use the Roman calendar, hence, they would celebrate Christmas on January 6th, which is where December 25th would have been on the Gregorian calendar. In some parts of the world, January 6th is called Old Christmas because this would have been the day Christmas would have been celebrated if the calendar switch was never made. The meaning behind the term Christmas. The name Christmas is a shortened form of the word Christmas, or the Mass of Jesus Christ. This is in turn derived from the Old English word Christmas, which translates to Christ Mass. The term Mass is a service used by Christians to indicate the death and the subsequent resurrection of Jesus. Alternatively, Mass was also called a Eucharist or communion. Interestingly, people also use the term Xmas in place of Christmas. The Greek name of Christ is X Christos, and it starts with the Greek letter X or chi pronounced as chi. Hence, people started abbreviating Christ with X, thereby calling it Xmas. Essay on Christmas celebration and tradition. Christmas is one of the biggest festivals celebrated around the world. It is also popular in countries where the numbers of Christians are relatively small. However, most countries around the world declared December 25th as a public holiday. Christians celebrate Christmas by attending the church on Christmas Eve. Houses are also adorned with decorations and the traditional colors of Christmas red, green, and gold. Red symbolizes the blood which was shed by Jesus on his crucifixion. The color green represents the evergreen trees which do not lose its color even in the winter. The color green also symbolizes eternal life. The color gold symbolizes royalty as it was one of the three gifts given by the Magi priests. Another iconic item of decoration is a Christmas tree, which is usually adorned with tinsel, bells, and a star atop of the tree. The star on the treetop represents the Star of Bethlehem. Other celebrations include the classic Nativity play, where a play is held recounting the birth of Christ, also called the Nativity of Jesus. Typically, the play is enacted by children during Christmas Day and Christmas Eve at church services or in theaters and schools. Christmas carols and musicals are also a popular part of the Christmas celebrations. Conclusion on AC on Christmas. Christmas is one of the biggest festivals in the world and is celebrated by billions, both Christians and non Christians. It signifies the birth of Jesus Christ, the central iconic figure of Christianity. People usually spend time with their family and close friends, showcasing the true spirit of Christmas.